Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Junk Food Zombie channel. Today we're doing part 2 of the series that I started on reloading deer cartridges for the 30-30. I got a lot of information here. I'm going to try to pack it into a small amount of time to do that. I've got a sheet of paper here that I wrote all the information on. I've got all 7 loads, and then I've got I'm going to take a picture of this and I'm going to post it later. You can just pause on it and I'll do pictures of each individual one so you can look at them. I've highlighted some pertinent information which I will discuss with you in a little bit. I'm going to give you a quick rundown. The rifle I was using, that scope, I've only shot that rifle once before at like 25 yards, just messing around with it the first time. I've never shot it at 100 yards. The scope is not zeroed for 100 yards or anywhere close to it, so my shots are high. Not that that matters entirely. We're looking at group size here. We're not looking at, you know, how the scope is zeroed. But for this first one, it matters because 2 of the 5 rounds went above paper because it is, I'd say, shooting about 6-7 inches high. So I'm giving you the basic rundown on this, and then I'll give you all the information again, like I said, on pictures that you can pause on so we can save some time in the video. We're going to take our time, see what we come up with. This is a Marlin Model 336, roughly, I believe, 1981 or 1982 it was made. Use my makeshift range bag here. Makeshift gun rest. It's actually a range bag. I think I forgot to load one. Yeah, I only put 4 in there. Alright, last one. So what I'll do is I'll continue on with the other rounds. I'm not going to show you me shooting all of them. Continue on with the rest of the rounds, and then I'll post the velocities and we'll check out the groups. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, we're shooting the Reloader 7 now. Lever here, my hammer down. Reloader 7. Now I don't have a actual rifle rest to do like super precise accuracy. I'm just trying to get a decent idea of how I would shoot this in the field, because I won't be shooting it from a rifle rest in the field. So we're gonna, you know, use some sort of practical test for this. One more. Recoil on the Reloader 7 is just a little less snappy than the 748, but they've all been relatively mild. We're looking at in the 2100 range right now for the velocities, so that may change with the other powders, but we're going to see. We'll keep on shooting and I'll let you know what happens when we're done. Alright, the Winchester 748. I got 3-shot group measurements and 5-shot. I took the best 3-shot groups and then I measured overall 5-shot groups. Obviously, the 5-shot group is not applicable for this target. 3-shot group was 1.58 inches, which is decent. All but one powder I have here shot under 2 MOA. Everything is between 1.5 inches and actually a little under 1.5 inches for one of them, up to about 1.75 inches. But you'll see that in a minute. Not bad. The consistencies on this powder were okay-ish, but not great. Surprisingly, I thought they'd be a little bit better, but the 3-shot group was a decent size. Second, the Reloader 7. 3-shot group, 1.64 inches. 5-shot group, 3.26 inches. Relatively consistent powder, and this one's not bad. I might hang on to this one. I'm not sure. I'm kind of borderline whether or not I'm going to continue experimenting with this one or not. I have to take all my data and kind of crunch numbers in my head and decide what's worth working on and what isn't. Third, Varget. 3-shot group, 1.5 inches, 5-shot, 2.78. These two kind of stretched out of there. Now, there were times where I was shooting where I felt like I kind of pulled a couple rounds here and there. So that's why I'm really concentrating on the 3-shot groups. Normally, I don't count 3-shot groups. I say you need a 5-shot group to really tell the accuracy of a rifle, but that counts on a rifle rest. And since you're not, since you're not hunting from a rifle rest, and all I had was a sandbag, there's a lot of human error left in the equation, so I'm kind of putting more weight in the 3-shot groups than the 5-shot groups in these. And this was good at 1.5 inches. The velocities were relatively consistent with this powder, so I may continue with that one. Next, Reloader 10X. This was the worst powder for me in the 30-30 of all the ones I used. I'm not saying it's a bad powder. It may work excellently in other cartridges. In my experience right now, it gave me not only the worst group sizes, but also the worst consistencies. 3-shot group was 2.44, so at 2.5 inches, it was 1 inch or more larger of a 3-shot group than basically everything else I use. And the 5-shot group was 4.87, so almost 5 inches. And it wasn't like I had, 3 or 4 rounds really close in a flyer or two. They're just kind of everywhere. So I didn't really get very good consistent accuracy with this. And my velocities, my low was 2014, my high was 2123, with leaving an extreme spread of 109 feet per second, which was well over anything else I got. So I'm not going to bother with the Reloader 10 anymore. That tells me enough that it's not worth continuing with that one. Okay, Accurate 2015. This gave me very, very good accuracy. A 3-shot group of 1.34 inches and a 5-shot group of 3.5. And I did pull a little shot here. If I remember correctly, I did write this down on another piece of paper, but I don't have it with me. I'm not sure where it is. When I was shooting, and I know I pulled one, I did write that down. I did make notes of it, and I may have just pulled that one. All my fault. But very good accuracy overall, and the consistencies were very good. The extreme spread was 46 with a standard deviation of 17, so that it was, I think, my second most consistent powder and had some of the best accuracy. So this is definitely one I'm going to be pursuing. That's towards the top of my list. Maybe the top of my list. Next, IMR 4064. Now, my group sizes were decent with this. The 3-shot group of 1.75, 5-shot group of 2.6 inches. So the 3-shot was not the best 3-shot group, but the 5-shot group was actually very, very good. Overall, it seemed to be pretty consistent there. My velocities, I had an extreme spread of 82, so not the most consistent powder I had, but the accuracy was good. So I'm not ready to throw this out yet. I may play with that one a little more. And lastly, excuse me, IMR 4198, which is supposed to be good, I believe, for lead projectiles. Either lead, I don't know, either it was good for lead or it was better for copper projectiles. I don't know. Okay, so take that with a grain of salt, what I just said there, because I'm talking out my butthole there, I guess. The 4198, my 3-shot group was 1.7, so not the best 3-shot group. 5-shot group was 4.62, so it didn't have the best accuracy for the 5-shot group, but the 3-shot was still good. All of these, with the exception of that that one that I mentioned before, the Reloader 10X, all of these had really decent 3-shot groups. They were all under 2 MOA, most of them between 1.5 to 1.75 inches, which is at 100 yards, which is more than adequate for deer hunting in the southeast United States. The velocities on this one were the best consistency at a low of 1,952 feet per second, high of 1987, so only a 35 foot per second extreme spread. These are not the velocities I'd like to reach with this round. 150 grain 30-30, I'd like to have these up closer to 2,200 feet per second. So I'm going to see, this isn't a minimum charge. This is closer to middle of the road. So I got to see, I don't want to push these too hard. 30-30 is not a round that likes to be shot too hot. thinner necks on the brass make it a little more susceptible to shorter case life. But the consistency in this powder was excellent, and the grouping, the 3-shot group was good, but the 5-shot was one of the worst, if not the worst. This could have been me pulling shots. This was the last one I shot. It was getting hot. I was getting sweaty. I was there shooting for a while. I was getting tired after shooting. These were the last of 35 rounds at a bench. So that could have just been me really pulling badly, because these 3 shots were good. So I'm not going to throw this powder out yet, simply because the 3-shot group is good and the consistency is excellent. So I'm not going to toss this quite yet. So again, I'm going to take this here. I'm just going to show you. I've got a couple things highlighted. The Accurate was the best 3-shot group, the Accurate 2015 3-shot group of 1.34 inches, so a bit over 1 MOA, but not a whole lot. Again, not from a rifle rest, just from a sandbag, basically. The IMR 4064 had the best 5-shot group at 2.6 inches. And then the IMR 4198, like I said, had the best consistency. Again, I'm going to show you individual pictures of all these loads so you can kind of focus on that. For all you guys who are into all the nerdy information, you can get all the info you want off of here without me reading this all out and making it too long. So that's where we stand right now. That can go on the floor. That's where we stand right now. I hope you guys are enjoying it. This is more for you reloader types, into the more technical side of the shooting sports, with the reloading and all the small data management. It's interesting for me, and I know there's a few of you guys out here who kind of enjoy this sort of thing. For those of you who don't, and this is kind of boring for you, I apologize. I do have other videos with shooting and that sort of thing. Some, ammo, and I got an ammo test, and I'll do some gun reviews and stuff. But I apologize if this isn't for you. So stay tuned, though. We have stuff for everybody. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed it. It'll be a little while before I can get to part 3 of this. I've got to figure out what I'm going to do, which powders I'm going to continue with, and figure out how I'm going to load them and do some more. I have to buy more projectiles because I've only got basically half of what I bought in the first place. So anyway, enough rambling. I will catch you guys on the next one, and see you later. Stay free. This is not my 300 blackout. I wish it was, though. Nice. We're at just over 15 yards on a small torso target. It's fun to shoot. It's got a little more punch than the 223. Very nice. I'll have to give this back to you now. Don't take that gun.